I am a poor wayfaring stranger while traveling through this world of war. Yet there's no sickness, toil, or danger in that bright world to which I go. I'm going there to see my Father. I'm going there no more to roam. I'm only going over Jordan. I'm only going over home. I know dark clouds will gather o'er me. I know my way is rough and steep, but golden fields lie out before me, where God's redeemed should ever sleep. I'm going there to see my mother. She said she'd meet me when I come. I'm only going over Jordan. I'm only going over home. Stranger, stranger, stranger.
I wrote a letter to a baseball field once. Actually, I thought I was writing my grandmother, but when she didn't write back, I thought I wrote a letter to a baseball field, but baseball fields don't write back. What I mean is, one day, I got a letter.
My mother threw a book of your poetry at me when I was 10, and that's how I found out I had a father. I wonder if page 26 is about me. A poem you dedicated to your son. I think those words are just empty promises you wrote to fill in pages in between what you really meant.
Her calligraphy answered every question except the one I deliberately decided not to ask. She told me I have two aunts, but said nothing about the man I deliberately decided not to ask anything about. I know we're a lot alike because she deliberately decided not to tell me, but she told me I have two aunts and she loves soaps.
True, my whole life has been a sitcom. Surprise guest appearances followed by surprises appearances that were never written in the script.
Her calligraphy answered every question except the one I deliberately decided not to ask. The one about the man that loved track rock, that left him stoned and rolling with a white girl. I guess I could see why she didn't want to tell me. It's so shameful that sometimes high rolling stones, crack rocks, crack stones, rolling high sometimes. It's so shameful, I guess I could see why she didn't want to tell me.
You were a drug dealer.
But I wish she would have told me that I was never the eldest, never was and never will be. And I was never the only, but I have come to see.
I was your mistake.
I wish my mother would have told me.
I was your mistake. I was your mistake.
But she stayed silent. She waited till I got that letter back. She waited 20 years till she was on the other end of the receiver, 400 miles away.
Child of your flesh that you just wish would become a skeleton. Sometimes I wish I could wake up and not remember you, because the only thing worse than never knowing your father is knowing that he wrote a poem about you and he doesn't love you.
I couldn't tell that from the photograph that I have of him. You know, the one I got where he's holding me? The one with the beer bottle stain on the upper left-hand corner? He looked young in that photograph, like 28 years old.
I look at pictures of you and I forget that these are photographs. I see mirrors in these snapshots. Me reflecting you.
I look just like him.
You neglected me.
I wonder if she
It's
does.
amazing how much of me is in you.
If the rest do, if there are any more of us.
My mother threw a book of your poetry at me when I was 10. My sister was 18, my brother was 3, and you had one on the way. You raised those 3. I was the outcast among them. I went from being the only child to being the black sheep. And to this day, when I sleep, I still have dreams about a side of my family that will always remain a mystery, because you are nothing but a book of poetry to me, and I'm your forgotten son. I was your mistake.
That wrote a letter to a baseball field. That wrote back.
I'll soon be free from earthly trials. My body sleep in the churchyard. I'll drop the cross of self-denial and enter on my great reward. I'm going there to see my Savior, to sing His